you ever wondered why your name feels like more than just a label? Why hearing it spoken in a certain tone sends shivers up your spine? Why the first letter, the very first sound that identifies you, seems to echo deeper than mere pronunciation? There is a secret embedded in the beginning, in the way your name starts, in the sound your soul chose to be called by in this lifetime. And what if the first letter of your name isn't random? What if it's a symbolic code, an energetic stamp placed upon your soul before you could speak it aloud? Carl Jung believed that nothing in our lives is accidental. Not our birth date, not our family, not our suffering, not even our name. In Jung's world, the unconscious is always speaking and always listening. It shapes your dreams, your desires, your instincts, your patterns, and yes, even the sounds to which your identity responds. The beginning of your name, the first letter, is not a coincidence. It is a vibration, a doorway, a calling. Letters as archetypal energies. In ancient mysticism, from Hebrew Kabbalah to Sanskrit mantras to the runes of Norse tradition, each letter is more than a character. It is an archetype, a vessel of meaning, a fragment of creation itself. The letter A is not just a sound. It is a beginning. The letter S is not just a shape. It is a serpent, a whisper, a sacred spiral. The letter M holds the mountains of the mother, the motion of water, the memory of womb. And so Jung might ask, not, what is your name, but what is the first shape your soul makes in the world? What archetype lives in the first breath of your identity? Because that letter is a symbol, and symbols are the language of the unconscious. The name as mirror. Pause for a moment. Speak your name aloud, but this time, stop at the first letter. Let it rest on your tongue. Feel it vibrate through your chest. Is it sharp or soft? Is it rising or falling? Does it shout or whisper? This is not about linguistics. This is about resonance. You are a story written in skin, in memory, in myth, and your name, the first sound of you, is the title of that story. It is what lovers whisper when they forget themselves. It is what you hear in dreams when something sacred calls. It is what the universe used to shape your path before you ever took your first step. So many of us walk through life unaware of the power we carry. We think our name is given, but what if it's chosen? What if it chose us? What if buried in that first letter is a key to your unconscious, a blueprint to your strengths, your shadows, your soul's longing? The call to remember. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And who you are begins with how you are called. So in this journey, we'll explore how the first letter of your name reflects the archetypal energies you carry. We'll look at how that letter symbolizes your psychic inheritance, your instinctive style of connecting, your emotional blueprint, and the role your soul is here to play. This is not fortune telling. This is soul decoding. And this isn't about changing your name. It's about reclaiming its meaning. Because your name is not just something you were given. It is something you activate every time you speak, write, or receive it. So look at that first letter. Let it become a mirror, because what you're about to learn may forever change the way you hear yourself. If you're drawn to the mysteries of the soul, subscribe to join a community of seekers exploring life's hidden patterns. Because the truth is always hidden in plain sight, often in the first letter. Letters as living symbols. The soul's silent alphabet. What if the alphabet wasn't invented but remembered? What if every letter, every shape, every curve, every sound was not created by the human mind, but pulled from a deeper, older source? To Carl Jung, symbols are the native language of the soul. They do not ask to be understood by logic. They ask to be felt. And every letter, especially the first in your name, functions as a symbolic sigil, a vessel of archetypal energy that connects your personal life to the collective unconscious. Let us begin to decode this mystical language, the collective unconscious and the alphabet of the soul. Jung described the collective unconscious as the psychic inheritance of all humankind, a deep mythic reservoir beneath your conscious awareness. It's where archetypes dwell, where dreams speak in riddles, where truth cannot be spoken, only symbolized. The letter that begins your name lives there too. It is not just a sound, it is a frequency, a gate, a code. To understand it, we must go beyond language and into symbolic memory. Because across ancient cultures, long before Western phonetics categorized letters, people believed each letter held spiritual power. In Hebrew mysticism, each character is a sacred flame, divine and ineffable. Aleph, the first letter, means the silent breath of creation. In Sanskrit, letters are mantras, living energies. The first letter A is the sound of existence itself. In runic tradition, letters were carved into bone and stone to invoke archetypal forces, like Fehu, the rune of prosperity, or Thurisaz, the rune of destruction and rebirth. In Greek thought, letters had numerical and philosophical significance. Alpha representing beginnings, Omega the completion of the soul's journey. In each system, letters were not human creations. They were divine echoes, imprints of truth waiting to be remembered. So when we ask, what does the first letter of your name mean? We are not asking for a dictionary definition. We are asking, what archetypal energy did your soul choose to begin with? What psychic pattern shaped your first impression on this world? What myth lives in your sound? The first letter as a personal archetype. Let us now return to your name. Close your eyes. Picture the first letter as a living presence. How does it feel? Does it rise upward like A with bold clarity and initiation? Does it coil like S, seducing the air with serpentine softness? Does it root like M, mirroring the hum of mountains, motherhood, and memory? This is your personal archetype. Your letter is the doorway through which your identity emerges again and again, through conversation, through writing, through thought. And even when others speak your name, they are calling upon this energetic echo. They are invoking not just you, but your symbol. This is why we sometimes recoil when our name is mispronounced. It's not about grammar, it's about resonance. They've touched the thread, but missed the vibration. Your letter and the persona Jung spoke of the persona, the mask we wear to face the world. And while personas often change over time, the beginning of your name remains constant. It is the first invitation you offer to others. Whether you speak it boldly or shyly, loudly or barely above a whisper, it carries the same message. This is who I am. This is where my story starts, and the world responds accordingly. Those whose names begin with commanding letters like B, D, or K may be seen as assertive before they even speak. Those with softer entries, E, H, or L, may be approached with gentleness or curiosity. Those with unusual or mysterious initials, X, Z, or Q, often feel like outliers in a world of sameness. These patterns are not just cultural, they are archetypal. You carry the first letter like a psychic tone, shaping your first impressions, relationships, even the way you experience your own voice. The sound that calls you home. Now let's turn inward. Say your name again, but this time, only the first letter. Whisper it. Let it fill the space between your ribs. Ask it. What part of me do you carry? What gift have you been trying to give me? You may feel an image arise, or a memory, or nothing, but a strange ache of recognition. This is the soul remembering itself. This is the silent beginning of individuation. In the next section, we will enter the gallery of letters, exploring the psychological and symbolic meanings of specific initials and the archetypes they awaken. Because whether your name begins with A or Z, it is not random. It is a mirror, and you are the myth it reflects. Letters AE. The archetypes at the threshold. Every letter is a shape the soul makes to step into the world. When your name begins with a particular letter, it is as though your spirit chose that exact vibration to enter the human story. not randomly, but mythically. In this section, we begin our archetypal decoding, starting with the first 5 letters of the alphabet. Each carries a distinct emotional tone. Each reflects an archetype, a gift, a shadow, and a karmic lesson woven into your soul's thread. Let us begin where everything does, with A. A, the initiator. Archetype, the hero. Vibration, ascending, sharp, forward-moving, essence, action, identity, origin, will. Those whose names begin with A carry the archetype of the hero, the one who is here to begin, to forge, to lead. There's a primal spark in the A soul. You are wired for independence, assertion, and pursuit of purpose. You crave clarity, directness, momentum. You are the first to speak truth into the silence, even when your voice shakes. You are often the initiator in relationships, craving depth over passivity. Strengths: courageous leadership, strong sense of identity, natural magnetism and willpower, pioneering energy in work and love. Shadow aspects: control issues masked as clarity, struggles with vulnerability and stillness, impatience and emotional complexity, fear of dependency, karmic lesson: to learn that true power is not dominance, but discernment. To lead from soul, not ego. Whisper of A. Begin. Even when you're afraid, your fire is sacred. Bidire, the nurturer. Archetype, the caregiver vibration. Soft. Rounded, containing. Essence, holding, support, protection, devotion. The letter B carries the energy of the mother, the healer, the one who creates emotional safety for others. Those with B names are often empaths, highly sensitive to others' emotions, attuned to subtle dynamics. You are naturally generous, soothing, and deeply loyal. You often take on the emotional labor of relationships without realizing it. Strengths: emotional intelligence, deep compassion and loyalty, grounded presence, supportive and intuitive partner or friend. Shadow aspects: self-erasure in the name of love, passive resentment from overgiving, difficulty receiving, fear of rejection if boundaries are expressed. Karmic lesson: to nourish without depleting, to choose yourself without guilt. Whisper of B: you are allowed to be held too. C, the creator. Archetype: the magician vibration, curved, fluid, enigmatic. Essence: curiosity, expression, possibility, change. C souls carry the magician's archetype, the alchemist of the inner and outer world. You are imaginative, charismatic, and often creatively gifted. You thrive in spaces where emotion meets vision. Art, love, spirituality, communication. You speak in metaphors, you dream vividly, you sense undercurrents others miss. Strengths: creativity as a life force, emotional adaptability, deep insight and mystical sensibility, enthusiasm that sparks others. Shadow aspects: escapism through fantasy, moodiness and unpredictability, fear of being ordinary, manipulation disguised as charm. Karmic lesson: to use your gifts for truth, not illusion, to ground your magic in reality. Whisper of C: your creativity is a form of truth-telling. Don't hide behind it. The builder. Archetype and the architect vibration, firm, stable, structured. Essence, foundation, discipline, strength, integrity. D is the archetype of the architect, the one who brings order to chaos and constructs the framework for others to feel safe. You value loyalty, consistency, purpose. You are pragmatic but deeply principled. You are often the rock others lean on, trusted, respected, sometimes feared. But beneath the surface is often a hidden tenderness you rarely show. Strength: grounded reliability, clear moral compass, capacity to create long-term stability, loyalty that endures beyond conditions. Shadow aspects: emotional rigidity, resistance to change or vulnerability, fear of loss of control, Difficulty asking for help. Karmic lesson. To balance strength with softness. To let yourself be seen, not just respected. Whisper of D. It's safe to let the walls soften. You are still strong. E. The messenger. Archetype. The seeker. Vibration. Light. Airy. Open. Essence. Communication. Curiosity. Movement. Connection. E begins the name of those who carry the seeker archetype. Restless, awake, always reaching for more. You are a natural communicator, drawn to ideas, languages, people, and truths that shimmer beyond the obvious. There is a thirst in you, spiritual, emotional, intellectual. You love widely, think deeply, feel quickly. Strengths. Expansive insight and adaptability. Love of learning and evolving. Socially gifted, emotionally agile. Spark of wonder in daily life. Shadow aspects. Avoidance of emotional depth through constant motion. Fear of stillness and solitude. Inconsistent in relationships. Tendency to speak before processing. Karmic lesson. To root your wings. To trust depth, not just breadth. Whisper of E. The truth is not always far. Sometimes it waits inside you. These letters, O through E, are just the beginning. Each one offers not a limit, but a mirror, a symbolic shape that reflects who you've always been beneath the noise of life. In the next part, we will explore letters F through J, where freedom, intuition, justice, and joy begin their sacred journey through the psyche. But for now, speak your name again, this time with reverence. Because the sound of you is older than you know. Letters FJ. The psyche's quiet signatures. Some letters rise like thunder. Others ripple like a secret across still water. But all of them carry messages from the unconscious. And the first letter of your name is no exception. We now continue our archetypal decoding of the alphabet, moving into the deeper folds of the psyche where feeling meets intuition, and identity finds its rhythm between structure and surrender. Let us step into the energies of F through J. F, the empath. Archetype, the healer. Vibration, gentle, flowing, receptive. Essence, compassion, sensitivity, restoration. Truth. If your name begins with F, you are the soul who feels everything. The empath, the quiet holder of sorrow, the intuitive witness to others' pain. You carry the archetype of the healer, not because you fix, but because you feel. You walk into a room and immediately know who's pretending to smile. You notice what's left unsaid and sometimes take it on as your own. Strengths, emotional depth and resonance, natural ability to comfort, soothe, and restore. Fierce sense of justice rooted in compassion. Gift for nonverbal connection. Shadow aspects. Self-neglect in the name of service. Chronic over-identification with others' pain. Difficulty expressing needs. Fear of emotional boundaries. Karmic lesson to recognize that healing doesn't require depletion. To give from fullness, not fracture. Whisper of F. You were never meant to carry it all. Let some of it go. G, the seer. Archetype, the sage vibration. Grounded, deep, spiral-like. Essence, insight, vision, depth, timeless wisdom. The letter G holds the soul of the sage, the archetype of visionaries, philosophers, and old souls. There is something ancient in the G energy. You may have been called wise beyond your years. You often feel like you're living on the edge of time, watching, knowing, sensing patterns others cannot see. You are not loud, but your presence is powerful. You crave truth, authenticity, depth over speed, strengths, quiet wisdom and discernment, love of inner life, study, and reflection, strong sense of purpose and spiritual depth, ability to hold paradox and mystery, shadow aspects, tendency to isolate or withdraw, over-intellectualizing emotions, fear of being misunderstood, emotional detachment when overwhelmed. Karmic lesson, to allow others into your inner sanctum. to speak your knowing without needing to be right. Whisper of G, your vision is real. Let it guide others, not just protect you. H, the harmonizer. Archetype, the mediator. Vibration, balanced, light, softly commanding. Essence, grace, equilibrium, listening, connection. H, souls carry the archetype of the mediator, the sacred bridge between opposites. You are the one others turn to in moments of chaos. Your energy brings calm without suppressing truth. You understand nuance. You don't demand sides. You create space for all sides to be heard. You are driven by harmony, but often you forget to include yourself in that piece. Strengths: emotional clarity and relational intelligence. Ability to resolve conflict with grace. Excellent listener and compassionate communicator. Spiritual grounding and modest strength. Shadow aspects: fear of conflict or confrontation. Suppressing your truth to keep peace. Tendency to self-sacrifice in group dynamics. Avoidance of difficult emotional truths. Karmic lesson: to find balance without betraying your own needs. To speak your truth is a form of harmony. Whisper of H, you are allowed to disturb the peace if the peace is a lie. I, the dreamer. Archetype, the mystic vibration, thin, high, ethereal. Essence, imagination, intuition, identity, illumination. I is a sacred thread of individuality. Names that begin with I carry the archetype of the mystic, one who lives between worlds. You may find that you've always felt different. There's a fluidity in how you love, how you move, how you see. You sense things others dismiss. You trust the unseen before the proven. You are imaginative, gentle, and often visionary. Strengths: strong intuitive intelligence, deep emotional and spiritual insight, capacity for solitude, reflection, and self-discovery, creative imagination and visionary gifts. Shadow aspects: escapism or dissociation, over-identification with suffering or solitude, difficulty grounding your ideas, struggles with asserting identity in relationships. Karmic lesson: to anchor your mysticism in the body, to be here now and know you belong. Whisper of I, you are not too much. You are what's been missing. J, the flame. Archetype: the warrior. Vibration, bold, bright, electric. Essence, action, confidence, justice, transformation. J is the letter of ignition. Those who begin with it often carry the flame of the warrior archetype. You are assertive, quick-witted, and determined. Your energy can light a room or challenge it. You speak truth, sometimes before you even mean to. You are protective by nature, drawn to roles where justice, passion, and direction are essential. Strengths: fearless energy and ambition, natural ability to lead, motivate, and inspire, strong moral compass, fierce loyalty to those you love. Shadow aspects: tendency toward emotional dominance, inflexibility or black and white thinking, over-identification with strength, difficulty showing vulnerability. Karmic lesson: to soften without losing power, to choose impact over control. Whisper of J, you don't have to fight to be worthy, you already are. Each of these letters offers you a window into your unconscious, not as a label, but as a living mirror, reflecting where you begin and who you are still becoming. In the next part, we'll explore the letters K through O, where charisma, depth, and divine contrast reveal new facets of the soul's blueprint. But for now, speak your name once more, this time with the awareness that every beginning carries a soul-shaping force. You were never just named, you were summoned. Letters K-O, soul paths of contrast and charisma. There are letters that arrive like thunder, and others that slip in like moonlight. Some names begin with fire, others with silence. But each first letter tells a story, a psychic imprint left on the page of the soul. We now move deeper into the symbolic alphabet. Letters K through O represent a spectrum, from intense charisma to quiet mysticism, from guardianship to inner complexity. These are the archetypes that live at the crossroads of identity and emotion. Let us continue decoding. K, the flame bearer. Archetype, the alchemist vibration, sharp, unfolding, controlled intensity, essence transformation, precision, power, intuition in action. Those whose names begin with K are often energetic catalysts. You carry the archetype of the alchemist, turning internal fire into outer change. You are not always loud, but you are felt. You see patterns quickly, react instinctively, and are rarely fooled. There's a sacred tension in your nature, between stillness and strategy, compassion and calculation. Your intuition is not dreamy, it is directive. Strengths: quick perception and adaptability, high standards and discernment, transformational energy, especially in relationships, leadership through intuition, not ego. Shadow aspects: control masked as clarity, emotional withholding, impatience with weakness in self and others, fear of vulnerability undermining power. Karmic lesson: to recognize that not everything must be managed. Some things must be felt to be transformed. Whisper of K: you are here to change things, but not everything needs fixing. L, the lover. Archetype: the beloved vibration, flowing, liquid, tender, essence connection, romance beauty, emotional availability. L is the letter of longing and love. Those with L names often carry the lover archetype, soul-deep feelers who lead with the heart and live for connection. You are poetic, emotionally expressive, and drawn to beauty, whether in people, art, or ideas. You bring softness into spaces that forget how to feel. You tend to fall deeply, quickly, and sometimes lose yourself in the process. Strengths: emotional openness and romantic intelligence, artistic, sensual, and expressive, ability to bring warmth and emotional safety to others, deeply loyal in love. Shadow aspects: idealizing love at the cost of self, difficulty being alone, over-attachment to fantasy or memory, self-worth tethered to being chosen. Karmic lesson: to love yourself with the same intensity you give others, to stop chasing reflection and start becoming radiance. Whisper of L: you are already the love you seek. M, the mother. Waihora archetype: the anchor. Vibration steady, rounded, deep. Essence grounding, devotion, protection, nurture. M is the letter of memory, matter, and mother energy, regardless of gender. Those whose names begin with M are often seen as protectors. You anchor others with your presence. You lead with loyalty, groundedness, and devotion. Though you may not always show your softest emotions easily, there is ancestral weight in your energy. You often carry not just your story, but the stories of those who came before. Strengths: deep sense of responsibility and care, emotional durability and spiritual maturity. Strong roots, often family or community-oriented. Loyal to people, places, and principles. Shadow aspects: suppressing your own needs in the name of duty, emotional rigidity, feeling burdened by others' dependency, resistance to personal change. Karmic lesson: to be the center without becoming the martyr. To nurture your needs alongside others. Whisper of M: you deserve the same devotion you give so freely. In, the seeker. Archetype: the pilgrim vibration. Rolling, forward-leaning, curious. Essence: evolution, movement, change, discovery. N is a letter of movement and mutation. Those who carry it begin life with a deep urge to explore, not just the world, but themselves. You are the pilgrim, the nomad, the eternal student of the soul. You learn through experience. You often reinvent yourself. Stagnation feels like death to you. You may struggle with traditional paths, needing to make your own meaning through experience. Strengths: deep curiosity and adaptability, hunger for spiritual, emotional, and mental growth. Courage to leave behind what no longer fits. Inspiring others to question, move, and grow. Shadow aspects. Fear of settling. Difficulty committing, especially emotionally. Chasing novelty over depth. Avoidance of stillness and intimacy. Karmic lesson. To know that roots do not mean confinement. To stay still long enough to be seen. Whisper of N. You are not lost. You are learning where home truly is. O. The Oracle. Archetype. The visionary vibration. Circular. Contained. Expansive. Essence. Wholeness. Wisdom. Completion. Mystery. O is a sacred sound, the shape of a circle of breath of wholeness. Those whose names begin with O are often deep souls with strong spiritual or visionary tendencies. You carry the archetype of the Oracle, one who knows without always being able to explain. You have a natural gravitas. You observe more than you reveal. People often come to you for guidance, not because you have answers, but because your presence opens something within them. Strengths. Deep intuition and mystical wisdom. Presence that soothes or awakens. Self-containment that inspires trust. Ability to hold space for complexity. Shadow aspects. Emotional distance or aloofness. Struggles with expressing vulnerability. Tendency to isolate or self-protect. Being seen as intimidating or unreachable karmic lesson. To share your wisdom in ways that create connection, not elevation. To let others see the tender heart behind the insight. Whisper of O. You are not here to observe life. You are here to live it fully, vulnerably, humanly. The letters we explored, K through O, reveal the incredible spectrum of soul energies wrapped in something as simple as a name. In the next section, we'll explore the final arc of the alphabet, P through Z, where shadow, revolution, depth, and destiny dance together at the edge of selfhood. But for now, sit with your letter, write it, speak it, feel it again in your bones. It is not just the beginning of your name, it is a summoning. Letters P seed. Archetypes of power, mystery, and destiny. The end of the alphabet is no less sacred than the beginning. In fact, in many mythic systems, the final letters often hold the most mysterious frequencies, those that vibrate with revolution, transformation, and endings that lead to beginnings again. In this final wave of letters, P through Z, we enter the territory of rare archetypes. Souls whose names begin here often carry unique emotional signatures. They are seers, disruptors, builders of new paradigms, and carriers of ancestral wisdom. Let us open the final chapter of this archetypal alphabet. P, the priestess. Archetype, the guide. Vibration, precise, quietly potent, focused. Essence, discernment, ritual, purpose, depth. If your name begins with P, you carry the energy of the priestess or priest, a soul attuned to ritual, meaning, and inner alignment. You are here not to entertain, but to anchor. Your presence invites truth, integrity, and deeper awareness. You often find yourself in teaching, mentoring, or healing roles, even when you didn't ask for them. People sense your inner compass, and they often come to you when their own is broken. Strengths: deep integrity and internal wisdom. Ability to guide others with empathy and clarity. Mastery of boundaries and sacred space. Calm, contemplative leadership. Shadow aspects. Emotional rigidity or moral superiority. Hiding your wounds behind guidance. Over-responsibility for others' growth. Difficulty letting go of control. Karmic lesson: to embody humility as a form of wisdom. To be both student and teacher. Whisper of P. You do not have to have it all together to hold sacred space. Q, the questioner. Archetype: the rebel alchemist vibration. Uncommon, electric, disruptive. Essence: inquiry, challenge, depth, rebirth. Q names are rare, and so are the souls who bear them. You are the rebel alchemist, the one who cannot help but ask the questions others fear. Your path is one of truth and transformation, often walking through fire to get to the gold. You likely feel both unique and misunderstood, You may carry past life or ancestral energy that pushes you to break generational cycles. You don't fit into systems, you remake them. Strengths: radical insight and original thought. Courage to dismantle falsehoods. Transformative presence in relationships. Creative visionary intelligence. Shadow aspects: isolation or self-sabotage. Cynicism. Hiding vulnerability. Impulsiveness or unpredictability. Fear of being truly known. Karmic lesson: to trust that not everything must be questioned. To rest inside the truth, not just dismantle illusion. Whisper of Q: your power is not in burning it down, but in building what comes after. R, the rooted one. Archetype: the guardian vibration. Earthy, deep, resonant. Essence: legacy, honor, grounding, connection. R is the vibration of returning to what matters. If your name begins with R, you are a guardian soul, protective, loyal, and often connected to your lineage in quiet but powerful ways. You move with purpose, and your words land with weight. You may be the emotional anchor in your family or chosen community. There is a deep sense of legacy around you. You are here to remember and to restore. Strengths: strong moral roots and leadership. Capacity to heal family or ancestral trauma. Emotional and physical stability. Practical wisdom grounded in a lived experience. Shadow aspects: resistance to change. Burdened by loyalty or tradition. Fear of outgrowing your role. Attachment to external validation. Karmic lesson: to guard others without forgetting your own soul. To honor roots while choosing your own direction. Whisper of R: you are not just here to remember, you are here to redefine. S, the serpent. Archetype: the shapeshifter vibration. Whispering, curving, mysterious. Essence: transformation, sensuality, perception, flow. If your name begins with S, you embody the shapeshifter, the soul who moves between worlds, identities, moods, and meanings. You are magnetic, intuitive, mysterious by nature. There is a rhythm to your presence, a sensual intelligence in the way you relate. You see truths others hide. You often find yourself both feared and desired. Strengths: deep emotional and sensual intelligence. Capacity for personal evolution and reinvention. Creative and relational flexibility. Presence that awakens others. Shadow aspects: manipulation or emotional withdrawal. Loss of identity in relationship. Hiding behind personas. Fear of stillness. Karmic lesson: to integrate your many selves into one grounded being. To allow mystery without masking your core. Whisper of S: you're not what you become. You are what remains. T, the torchbearer. Archetype: the truth seeker. Vibration: direct, bright, striking. Essence: clarity, justice, structure, communication. T names carry the force of revelation. You are the truth seeker, a soul designed to illuminate what has been hidden. You often feel a deep internal code of right and wrong. You are a powerful communicator, drawn to ideas, causes, or people who ignite your conviction. When aligned, you are luminous. When uncentered, you burn too hot. Strengths: fierce clarity and moral direction. Capacity to inspire others into action. Gift for writing, speaking, and truth-telling. Intuitive sense of purpose. Shadow aspects: harshness or inflexibility. Self-righteousness. Emotional suppression. Difficulty receiving feedback. Karmic lesson: to use your voice to build, not just break. To temper fire with empathy. Whisper of T: your light heals best when it's warm, not blinding. U, the unbound. Archetype: the wild one. Vibration: expansive, unusual, flowing. Essence: freedom, rebellion, emotional truth, nonconformity. U names are rare and often belong to rare spirits. You are the wild one, untethered by convention, often unwilling to conform to what feels false. You may have struggled early in life to fit in, but as you grow, you begin to recognize the sacredness of your uniqueness. Your relationships, beliefs, and identity are all deeply personal. You live from the inside out. Strength. Deep emotional authenticity, creative and spiritual innovation, refusal to betray the self, magnetic individualism. Shadow aspects. Isolation from misunderstanding, emotional volatility, fear of commitment, resistance to structure. Karmic lesson: to trust your wildness but learn the beauty of stillness, to let others in, even when you fear being seen. Whisper of you: you were not made to be caged, but freedom can be shared. VZ, the final gatekeepers. For the final 5 letters, V, W, X, Y, Z, we will enter even rarer archetypal frequencies in the final part. These names often carry strong karmic echoes, psychic power, and energies tied to transformation, endings, and soul contracts. But for now, take a breath. You've seen how your name, the simple first letter, carries more than identity. It carries destiny. In the final part, we'll explore the letters V through Z and close with a reflection on how to live your name as an act of conscious soul expression. Letters VZ, the soul's final flame and your sacred return. Some names don't walk into the room. They arrive like prophecy. The final letters of the alphabet, V through Z, are rare, intense, and often carry souls meant for profound transformation. These are names that end the sequence, souls that come to close chapters, birth revolutions, or hold ancient codes within their syllables. They do not just carry energy, they transmit it. Let us now complete the circle. V, the visionary. Archetype, the builder of futures. Vibration, vibrating, sharp, vision carrying. Essence, imagination, innovation, depth, devotion to ideals. If your name begins with V, you are the visionary, the soul who sees what others cannot yet imagine. You are drawn to possibility, to rebuilding broken systems, to dreaming new realities into being. And yet, you are grounded. Your visions are not illusions. They are instructions. You walk the line between imagination and structure. Strength. Exceptional intuition paired with drive. Innovative creativity and intellectual independence. Strong moral compass guided by ideals. Desire to elevate others, not just self-shadow aspects. Over-identification with vision, losing presence. Rigidity in ideology. Loneliness at the edge of innovation. Fear of vulnerability within leadership. Karmic lesson: to create without controlling. To share vision through invitation, not imposition. Whisper of V: your dream is sacred, but so is rest. W, the weaver. Archetype: the connector vibration. Winding, lyrical, flowing. Essence, relational magic. Communication, emotional synergy. W is the letter of the weaver, the one who threads the emotional worlds of others together with empathy and expression. You are highly relational, often the glue in friend groups or communities. You sense unspoken dynamics and use communication to bridge them. You are drawn to music, movement, and language, anything that binds and beautifies. Strengths: deep social and emotional intelligence. Ability to build soulful relationships. Harmonizing presence. Creative expression, especially in the arts or healing shadow aspects. Codependency masked as care. Fear of disconnection or conflict. Avoidance of personal truth to keep peace. Difficulty distinguishing own needs from others' karmic lesson. To know your worth beyond what you weave for others. To be whole even when you are alone. Whisper of W: you connect so beautifully, don't forget to connect to yourself. X, the cipher. Archetype: the hidden one, vibration. Mysterious, fricative, undefined. Essence, paradox. Secrecy, power, shadow. Wisdom: to begin your name with X is to carry a code, a hidden story, a sacred contradiction. X names are rare, often representing souls between veils, those who do not fit and were never meant to. You may be spiritually complex, unconsciously mystical, or emotionally intense. You often speak in symbols, whether through art, silence, or intuition. You are not here to be understood, you are here to awaken. Strengths: psychic insight and depth, unique or artistic expressions of truth, access to both shadow and light, transformational presence in relationships. Shadow aspects: fear of being seen or known, self-sabotage through isolation, projection of pain as mystery, over-attachment to identity as outsider. Karmic lesson: to bring your hidden knowledge into the light, to risk being known, even if it feels unsafe. Whisper of X: you are not too much. You are the map. Why to the youth. Archetype: the eternal student vibration. Upward. Curious, dynamic. Essence: discovery, rebirth, creativity, wonder. Names beginning with Y carry the youth archetype. Souls who retain curiosity, openness, and emotional agility no matter their age. You are playful, experimental, and drawn to what could be rather than what is. There is an innocence in your energy, often paired with surprising wisdom. You evolve constantly, and that can confuse others or frighten them. Strengths: flexibility and open-mindedness, passion for learning and creativity, capacity to inspire others with joy, emotional resilience through transformation. Shadow aspects: avoidance of responsibility, fear of committing to a single path, tendency to seek validation through performance. Difficulty grounding identity. Karmic lesson: to know that maturity is not the death of wonder, to lead playfully without abandoning depth. Whisper of Y: you don't have to choose oneself, just choose to stay true. Z, the zenith. Archetype: the ancient flame. Vibration: final, sharp, conclusive. Essence: completion, wisdom, sacred fire, legacy. Z is the zenith, the end, the crown, the echo of lifetimes. Those with Z names often carry karmic completion energy. You are not just learning, you are remembering. There is a gravitas in your soul, an ancientness that often reveals itself through dreams, déjà vu, or destiny-like events. You are both old and new, shadow and light, closure and opening. Strengths: intuitive access to higher truths, profound emotional depth, ability to see life from multiple lifetimes worth of wisdom, presence that invokes transformation. Shadow aspects: feeling misunderstood or misplaced, emotional weight that's hard to name, difficulty being present in the mundane, fatigue from spiritual over-functioning. Karmic lesson: to know that you do not have to finish every soul story, to be here now in simplicity, joy, and love. Whisper of Z: your ending is someone's beginning. Rest in the mystery. Your letter was a choice, not a coincidence. You've journeyed through the alphabet of the soul. You've seen how each letter, each vibration, each archetype carries a symbolic fingerprint, a hidden mirror to your deeper truth. Carl Jung once said, "The symbols of the self arise in the depths of the body." And now you know, your name is not a label. It is a living symbol. It is the first sound of your soul, closing reflection, in the breath that speaks your name, in the first letter carved into every introduction, in the silence that follows when someone says your name with love. There lives an ancient thread. You are not called randomly, you are summoned. And every time you say your name, you answer that call. So now I invite you to whisper it again, not as an identity, but as an invitation, to awaken the archetype within, to reclaim the meaning you've always carried, to live your name as a prayer of becoming. In the quiet of your own gaze, in the rhythm of your own time, you carry the universe's wisdom. Now, what will you choose to see?